a pickup right now, just like we need this first game here. We're jumping right into it. Looks like we're not starting off with splat zones, but in fact, tower control. Let's drive right into it. So right now we're looking at these comps. Obviously, the machine slosher seems to be the meta that we're going to be seeing a lot today. Ever since we had that area cup that took place about a week ago or so, we saw so many double slosher machines that a lot of people are starting to see the beauty of this weapon. There's only one pick, by the way. There's two. They're all down. What happened? That was so fast. Literally, I think on top of everything that just went down, right? You saw Don't Sub the Shinexx. They just got into the back lines immediately. It just took down their anchor, and it just kept going. And look how fast they're going. Look how these packs, they're not letting them play right now.
Not letting them play at all. I mean, look at the killer whale coming out, that inkjet. They are not letting them out of their spawn, especially with these two sloshers just coming up into your spawn like this. How do you get out of this? You have to play this so carefully.
They're already past checkpoint number 2, and they're almost down there in the zone. Literally, this is going to be a 100-0 and a handshake. What in the absolute world just happened? Don't Sub the Shinexx came out swinging. So at the very beginning of that map, like if you looked really closely, you saw both the slosher and the sloshing machine go into the back lines really fast and just start taking them down bit by bit, immediately throughout their entire group, and they just could not recover from the aggression.
Yeah, that is, and if you're not prepared for aggression like that, it can be really startling, and I think that's exactly what we saw too. Something else I noticed too was both teams actually didn't have the, classic support weapon on their team, so that was something that really stood out to me. It wasn't just one team or the other, it was both of them not having a support weapon, so having that tons of aggression, not really focusing on having a support weapon from Don't Sub to Shinexx, I think was really played out in their favor.
I think we'll probably talk about it a lot more tomorrow with the analyst desk, but people have been talking about how the support weapon might be changing a little bit in Splatoon 3 in comparison to 2, right?
Yeah.
How, in 2, it's all about, Junior, for instance, you try to build up ink armor by painting. Ink armor was a good way for you to help push, having that armor. But now it's starting to turn into, well, support's more than just painting and building up special. You need to play a little bit more aggressive, and the weapon pool for support seems to be widening a little bit. It's not just Junior and N-Zap anymore, Like, it can actually, sometimes, a splatter shot could be Junior. Just a Junior. Could be support,
Yeah.
Just the normal splatter shot. Just having that ability. But always having that dedicated member that's going to be about trying to paint the field as much as possible is always important.
Yes.
But I think the weapon comps are starting to change drastically because of it.
Totally agree, and there's now multiple specials that can be used as a support, quote-unquote support weapon.
Yeah. So we're going to jump into game number 2 here. We're straight right back at it again. Tower control once more. Looks like we're, guys, speaking of support. Oh, this is Rainmaker, my bad. I always confuse because I look at the little icon in the middle of the checkpoints, what I'm saying? But, what's happening actually is now we have the support weapons coming out, right? So Twig on the N-Zap, speaking of, having that ability to be able to throw out that, just having a Tacticooler in play can be very good for trying to make the push, but already another wipeout.
That wipeout happening instantly and getting to the first checkpoint. I mean, they are playing so aggressive. Now Huber here grabbing the Rainmaker, trying to get it through the choke area. Does get a trade, but with 2 members down right now on the side of Don't Sub to Shinexx, finally, Cheetos is having some room to breathe and try and get in a position to defend this Rainmaker.
It's so tough, right? Like, they immediately try to go over the grate, which is one of the hardest parts to go through. And again, they're going back into the zone. Machine Slosher and Tri Slosher just going back into the background, trying to just get as many splats and keep them back in the background so they can't even try to formulate any sort of push. And we have yet another destructive finish for Don't Sub the Shinexx. I don't know if they can bring something home. I feel like they're just kind of getting overwhelmed by the aggression. Like, having 2 Slayers coming at you like that is... That's rough, man.
Yeah, and I think I noticed too, there were 2 members down on the side of Don't Sub to Shinexx, and then Shinexx was up in the spawn as the Tri-Slosher, even though 2 members of their team were down. So having that distraction, and then someone just comes up and grabs the Rainmaker and dunks it. So you have to really figure out how to focus on and what to focus on, because that distraction that Shinexx was able to do was pretty good.
The fights that they're winning are so important. My favorite thing about Shinexx's team is that the second they win the fight, they get 2 splats, they're going. They're off to the races. They know they can overwhelm at that point. And then at that, and then they push even further beyond to try to like disrupt and displace all their spawns, try to like delay the spawns, you know, bit by bit. Like you get 3 splats and you keep that 4th person alive for just a little bit, so you make it so that it makes it even more delayed. So I don't know what Cheetos Crunchy Cheese Flavored Chips Flamin' Hot 3.25 ounces is going to be able to bring to the table here for game number 3. But I honestly, Clam Blitz might be the take here. This is kind of a different type of overwhelming, right? Because now there's not one singular objective that you're going to. There are little clams all over the map you have to grab before going towards the finish.
Yes.
And we're playing one of my favorite maps, dude. The water out here, if you're a dualies, raise your hand. You fell off. You rolled off before. Come on. Don't even lie.
I'm not even a dually, and I have fallen off of this map.
That's what I'm saying. So a little bit different start compared to the last couple maps, right? Already 2 down on both sides, a little bit more even here. So we're trying to pick up clams bit by bit. A little bit of Shinexx seems to have a little bit of control with the color of the map, right? Having a little bit more center control as we're going back bit by bit. Odds going to back up so people are able to jump to him. You're being a little bit of anchor. Here come the missiles from Cheetos to try to help displace them. Still a little bit of room, but there's the aggression from Shinexx coming in.
Yeah, Shinexx doing a really good job at pushing up through with their teammates' support. Huber, they're jumping in with that Tower Clam and just dunking that now with clams still on deck. Looks like Shinexx's team has 11 clams and they're getting 4 clams. Just keep dunking this and keep getting points on the board.
That was like, oh my god, they're still going. More and more clams. I want more. They're jumping in with more. Come on. Give me, I want 100-0 and 1 Slammeroo dunk. That's what I want. And honestly, they did the classic strat where they had some, oh my god, they're going to dunk 20. They're going to dunk 20. Is this done? I was joking. I was kidding. I was having a hoo-hoo-ha-ha moment. 3-0. Don't sub to Shinexx. Don't do it. Don't sub to them.